Hello, I'm Luca De Giglio, and this is the Web3 in Travel podcast, where you can learn about crypto, blockchain, and how the new internet will change travel. Hello, everyone. So today we have with us two persons from Chain4Travel, which is this new project in Web3 in travel, who are launching a new blockchain, a dedicated blockchain for the travel industry. And they are Pablo Castillo and Ralph Uspek. I did a couple of episodes just a few weeks ago where I analyzed their project. And this call is to allow them to say their part of their point of view, basically, because as I said in my episodes, I may have made mistakes at any time because I just had a very quick reading and I just was saying out loud what I was thinking. But now with them here, we can have the full picture. So just before the start of the podcast, Ralph was asking me to introduce trips. I'm going to do this quickly. So if you haven't heard the other episodes, or if you don't know what trips is and what I do, this is an introduction. So basically myself, I'm from the vacation rental space for a few years. Before Airbnb, I had my own kind of Airbnb system, which was a lifestyle business, which allowed me to travel. Then Airbnb in 2008 and 9 came on the market, and it basically destroyed my little business. And so I pivoted to a startup on the vacation rental business. And in 2013, I got into Bitcoin. And in 2017, I discovered Ethereum and the concept of DAOs, so decentralized autonomous organizations. And since then, I launched a DAO, so a community, and we tried initially to do the decentralized Airbnb, and then we realized it was too early, and it's still too early today, 5 years later. So we pivoted to basically saying, let's just experiment with these new technologies, right? Hello,
Luca.
Anke reached us. Nice to meet you.
Google. Yeah, nice to meet you. I actually was at a Google meeting. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you. Good morning. So we are recording already the podcast now, and it's going to be just voice. So we basically decided to start experimenting with these new technologies, crypto, blockchain, Web3, whatever you want to call them. And for the last couple of years, we basically played with them because we don't think it's still time to do something mainstream. The mainstream is not ready for that. We're going to get there. And so we've been experimenting with NFTs. We did the first NFT bookings, I think, in the world, et cetera, et cetera. So we are more like a lab at the moment than a company or a project which is trying to find product market fit. And me personally, I decided to start this podcast because basically I learned so much in these years, and I was kind of trying to find a way to share this knowledge with other people, and podcasts are a light way to do it. You just speak in a microphone, you don't even have to shave, and then you can share your knowledge. And there we are. So, and yours, guys, was the first time I actually ventured into analyzing a project, because it's a delicate thing to do. Yeah, you take a couple of hours, and you basically say what you think. And the project, on the other hand, had like months or even more of work behind that. So at the end of that analysis, I said, okay, maybe it's fair if I also give the possibility to share basically your view on that. I'm not going to explain again what Camino is. Maybe you want to introduce it a little bit, but let's assume that people have listened to the other 2 episodes. And when you want, you can jump in and say basically, first introduce yourself, and then you can kind of make any comments on the episodes. So who wants to start? Maybe Anke?
Or Ralph?
Or Ralph? Okay.
Okay. So my name is Ralph Uspek. I'm the founder of Chain4Travel and also the founder of Traveltainment in the past. I sold Traveltainment to Amadeus in 2006 and was the CEO of the Amadeus Leisure Group. And then I started a new company from scratch, Peakwork, and it's was also growing very fast and on a global with a global approach. And then in Peakwork we was thinking about applications on blockchain, and then we figured out that public blockchains doesn't work for the tourism sector. Yeah, and therefore we started the project Chain4Travel and invited the industry to join. And we explain a little bit more about Chain4Travel and Camino network later.
Okay, maybe Pablo.
Yes, hi everybody. I'm Pablo Castillo. I'm CTO of Chain4Travel. I've been working my whole life in travel. Actually, I started my career selling trips to Greece to Swiss customers, and then made my way through e-commerce, project management, international project management, to head of IT at Hoteplan, where we have we're having actually different initiatives as well with Peakwork together in the area of dynamic packaging. I joined officially on the 1st of July as CTO and have been actually helping Chain4Travel along a little bit from the sidelines at the beginning of the project to build up the IT team across the world.
Okay, perfect. Anke?
Yeah, my name is Anke Su. I'm also quite a veteran in the travel industry, more than 20 years. Started with Lufthansa, worked a long time for Sabre and later on for smaller tech companies. And I joined Chain4Travel in June, actually. But I've dove down the rabbit hole quite some years now. And I actually started to do research on blockchain and travel in 2020, I think. And in 2021, I started my dissertation on that at the University of Zurich. And we met, I think, Luca, just on the channel, on the DAO channel. Never personally, never on on a talk.
What channel? Excuse me, which channel?
The DAO channel, the DAO Slack channel. That.
Okay. Yes.
I think it was Peter Syme or
yes, Peter Syme.
Peter Syme, and then Max came on. So yeah.
Yes,
so I saw your name on that. Yeah.
Great.
So how I got into blockchain, I think that blockchain is the technology, as we all think, to disrupt the travel industry. To actually, maybe disruption is not so important, but to rethink travel distribution as we know it. As you know, we have some gatekeepers that developed based on platform network effects like GDSs, you know that, or big booking. And I think that blockchain, is with the decentralized capabilities, has the ability to decentralize the power of those players. They could be still part of it, and we are talking to them with different use cases. But I think we can create, and especially with Camino that is managed by travel stakeholders, we can create a more equal, more efficient marketplace. I mean, as you know, we don't have a lot of margins in the travel industry, right? So the margins are thin. And we have thousands of APIs, I think, to connect to each other. And I think that Camino would offer, or will offer, a better way to connect and collaborating across the industry, especially international, especially globally, as our industry is global.
Okay.
So that brought me here. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anke. So let me just, before we go ahead, make a very quick, reminder of what Camino is, and then you can start. So basically, Camino is a new blockchain which is specifically dedicated for travel applications. So instead of using the highways, the public highways of Ethereum or other generalistic blockchains, you are proposing to create some specific highways only for travel applications, right? And the advantages are speed, cost, basically speed and cost are the most important ones in travel.
Collaboration, right? And
collaboration, and you are in the same environment. So I'm sure there's even more upsides for that. Is that a correct introduction of what Camino is?
I would say it's a layer one for travel. A layer one, it's an industry blockchain. I think one of the first. Maybe we see others, because as you know, private blockchain might not be well suited to the use cases of specific industries. They haven't had traction yet, and public blockchains on the other side have other disadvantages. So we can go deeper into that later on.
Yeah, okay. I think it's it's a good description of Camino, and as well, your podcast was very good. A good research, a good interpretation of what we are doing, what we all want to do, with some mistakes. And
yeah, let's go on the mistakes, because I already I'm fine with having made mistakes, because
so you said that in the introduction that the time is not right for mainstream on blockchain. I think in travel industry, you mean travel industry, because we see a lot of applications around the world in other industries which are working right now, and we believe the time is right for travel on blockchain. The problem was in the past that the current blockchains are not good enough for handling travel products. So for example, when you go on Ethereum, you can forget it. So you pay gas fees for one transaction. Now the Ethereum is a little bit lower, but you pay $5 or $3 or sometimes $20 validation fees, gas fees, and this doesn't work. So if you can't control the gas fee, it will never work for travel. So and therefore we said, let's create a public blockchain, but the validators are known, KYC proved, KYB proven, and all the validators have one vote. So nobody can control the network. The only thing what we need is at the beginning an amount of validators, so that we start with minimum 30, 40, 50 validators, so that the network is secured already at the beginning. So, and we have these supporters already. We want to create a network where only the validators are need permission. And we start with, as I said, 40, 50 validators. And if a new validators wants to join, we do a KYC process, and then we bring this new validator to the vote for the current validators. So they can vote if the new one can come in or not, and with a very easy democratic voting. So 50%, and then it's okay. We will start with a mixture of travel companies, so airline, hotels, tour operators, incoming agents, travel tech companies, so that we don't run the risk that these people are try to control something, and don't let someone in. So if we only start with airlines and then Ryanair wants to come in, maybe they say, no, Ryanair, we don't like it. So therefore we are very convinced that this network will grow, and it's at the end also public at the validator, because everyone can join. They only have to make a KYC process, and then they can come in. And the rest of the chain is public, so you can develop. Everyone can develop everything on this network. And the special thing what we are doing is that we create some standards, some like ERC standards. We will bring standards for hotel information, for tickets, etc. So we try to bring the community in a standard process. And the community can also define the standards. And the problem in the past was that everyone was thinking about blockchain, and have these cryptocurrency in mind. But if you think about what you can do with smart contracts, then you can do much more than only crypto. So you can use the system for notifications, for informations, to bring better revenues in. But it's only possible if you can control the gas fee. If you can't control the gas fee, you can forget it. And the aim of the network is that the gas fee, the validation of one transaction, will never be higher than 1 cent. So we start with, I don't know, 0.1 cent, because the validator, the main interest of the validators is not to earning money with the validation. So the interest of these companies is to have the network up and running. And
so 1 cent is the maximum fee for a transaction?
Exactly.
This is what the aim of the network. So we developed governance into the network that the validators always can vote for reducing or increasing the gas fee. Yeah. So every 2 weeks you can control the gas fee again. So we believe that the native token of the network, the Camino, will also increase in the future compared to fiat money. Yeah, and then we have to reduce the base. Yeah, and this is common. Yeah, so every supporter, when we talk with the supporters, the airline, the hoteliers, etc., they have this same view, and therefore we are very convinced that we always can steer it on a maximum of 1 cent. If it goes higher, you can forget it. So we are working with airlines on solutions where you can give the end user a coffee voucher, for a drink on the plane, on the flight. Yeah, so this coffee costs you, I don't know, $1.50, and if the transaction will cost you $2, so you can forget it. And we have a lot of travel tech companies which are already developing on the network. Yeah, we have the testnet live. Columbus is already live. You can develop on this. Everyone is invited to develop applications on Camino or on Columbus right now, and we will see a lot of new possibilities because it's not only selling a ticket. Yeah, it's much more. It's at the end it's a really big network with where you have all these notification informations, etc. around.
Can I ask you one thing about the fees? So it's 1 cent for maximum for transaction as a goal. Is it the same price for a smart contract execution, or you have different prices there?
That would depend on the complexity of the smart contract, of course. So the 1 cent is the base fee plus on top then the complexity. But there we also help our partners to develop performance smart contract, because you know how it is. If the code is not well written, it can cost you dear money. And now we aim actually to be high performant also in that area.
Okay.
So, but if you develop on the right way, you can also have this maximum 1 cent. And this is important. For example, there is one company which bring hotel information to the platform. Yeah, so there's a smart contract. You find 1 million addresses of the hotels. Yeah, or 1 million hotels, and they have smart contracts where you can register your smart contract and push all the informations in. Yeah, so for example, 360-degree view, you can push descriptions, user reviews into this address. Yeah, and if this will cost more than 1 cent, then it's a big problem. And for the user of the network, for the developers, it's fantastic. Yeah, so if you need hotel informations, you go to the smart contract of this company with a hotel address, of this unique hotel, and you will find all the information. So description, the images, the round views, the room type mappings, etc. And this is what we see, that we bring a platform where everyone can bring content in, and the community can use this content directly, and there is no different with startups and companies which already collect content 5 years long, etc. And this is one application. Yeah, so we have much more. We have also a company which bring all the disaster informations into the network. Yeah, so everyone can use it directly. If a disaster in the world happens, you see it directly. If you listen to the event, you have all the information directly in your application. And then the whole trading platform. Yeah, so if you don't steer the gas fee, you can't trade microservices. So our vision is that a hotelier can also sell a bottle of wine, on the room. Yeah, right now it's very complicated. The processes, you need a new API, and you have to connect to 1,000 APIs, and to bring your bottle of wine in the room, to the end users. Here, it doesn't matter if it's a bottle of wine, or is it a hotel room, or is it a seat in the plane. It's always the same, and the cost is always the same. And when you imagine that the hotelier can already sell the day bed at the pool directly at the booking or in the after sale process, or the massage in the spa, etc. This is a convenience for the end users. This is convenience for the supply, and this is our vision. And yes, of course, we need a critical mass to start, and we believe we already are at the critical mass. Yeah, so we have a lot of companies before starting the mainnet. This is very important. The mainnet will start in October. We will have an event on September 13th of September, where we all the showcases or use cases from our partners.
Yeah, this is in Palma de Mallorca, is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, pity I
Right.
won't be able
And I
to come
think-
because
Maybe
Yeah,
to add to what Rolf just said, I mean, I think the biggest differentiator to other travel blockchain initiatives we see out there is that this ecosystem thinking, right? You heard many different use cases. So a lot of current projects go in the direction, I want to book something without intermediates, maybe be a hotel or a vacation rental directly offering that to the clients. And we see it much broader. So we understand the tourism industry really as a holistic approach, holistic industry, where we go from airport services to hotel information to carbon offset to booking, of course, yes, as well, inventory tokenization and so on. So the interesting part is with each client, with each partner we talk, they see other possibilities how blockchain can use. So I think a lot of companies now understand the blockchain is here to stay. I mean, it's widely used. More and more industries are adapting blockchain solutions. And at the end, for the customer, it should not matter if it's blockchain behind that or not. Blockchain just is a mean to be very efficient, very secure, and for instance, also collaborate in the highly, highly fragmented and outdated system market like tourism industry is. So it's a good alternative.
okay. Is there anything else you want to comment in general about your project or about what I said in the podcast? I mean, I just leave you open mic here.
Yeah,
So
yeah. As I said, you went through the document very well. Yeah. So it was only this semi-permissioned problem. Yeah, in your mind. This is at the end. We believe we are much more secure with a network of 1,000 KYC proven companies, which do the validation, instead of a public chain where you never can control if someone gets too much stake and control the network. And here, every node or every validator only have one voice, and this is the interesting part of the concept.
So this proof of stake and authority, like we call it, also allows us to be faster, right? In my former job, I also had the task of always look at new technologies. Is it friend or is it foe? And I always dismissed blockchain technology in the past because for me, the public approach would not work for tourism 100%, especially if you're looking at ecosystems like we are trying to build up. So this semi-permissionless approach with the consortium blockchain we are trying to build up is on the one hand well received by the industry players because every player is known, they trust each player, and touristic players do not have the interest to validate other transactions from gaming or DeFi industry. They want to keep the transactions within the tourism industry, and it definitely adds to security and speed on our end.
Okay. Anything else? Just whatever you want to add. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just can add, in case you haven't seen, there's a report out from Trail of Bits. They looked at quite a few, papers, academic papers, and the reports regarding decentralization of public blockchains. Actually, Trail of Bits and then focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Is quite interesting to read because actually there are some unintended centralities in the public blockchain. So, for example, the vast majority of Bitcoin nodes, they appear not to participate in mining. So that makes the public blockchain of Bitcoin vulnerable for an attack because there are only a few institutions that are necessary to do harm to the blockchain actually. So there's also they speak about the Nakamoto coefficient, and you know that probably, and the closer the value is getting to 1, the more centralized is the system. So the minimum number of entities necessary to disrupt the system, and it's quite the number is quite low for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Actually, Avalanche has the best rate on that in that report in terms of decentralization. So I just wanted to, you know, because we're always having that in Web3, the discussion around decentralization, centralization, but we need to be aware that there are centralities, so unintended centralization in public blockchains as well. And with a layer 1 for travel, we are in the position to actually manage decentralization. And as Ralph said, we will start with 50 validators, will go up. Those are from the travel industry, so that we assume that they have good intention, but still from a blockchain perspective, that would be more decentralized, more secure than even public blockchains.
Maybe you can share me that link if you still have it later on. I'm going to check it out. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. I was, you know, I'm writing out stuff I can ask later, but again, I'm going to let you continue if you have anything to add.
You already read our light paper and described some use cases, and the interesting part is it's not scam. Yeah. So what we are doing is not scam. It's a very serious project, and we are working with big airlines already, with big loyalty programs, and with incoming agents. Yeah. So it's a lot of work to make these click in the brain, yeah, in the mind. How can I develop something on blockchain? How can I use smart contracts? Yeah, so you have to completely rethink your processes, your businesses. Yeah, maybe also your business concepts. Yeah, and this is what we are doing right now. We are in discussion and workshops with a lot of companies, and always after the workshops, it makes click in the mind, and then a lot of ideas will come out of of the brains of our partners. Yeah, and because it's a fantastic technology. So I'm in the travel technology business since 1999. Yeah, so a long time. And in 1997, I had an speak in a regional audit, and they asked me something about the internet. What's happened with the internet, 1997? And I asked the people, how many of you are online right now? Only 5% said they are online in 1997. And in US at this time, there were already 24% of the people online. Yeah, and in the DACH market, we saw a skeptic. Yeah, so internet is too slow. It will never work in the travel industry. You will never sell a package tour on internet. Yeah, and what's happened? The current industry from the past did nothing. Yeah, and all the big ideas in internet on travel came from outside. Yeah, and we will see the same thing right now. We believe the potential of blockchain technology is minimum as high as the internet potential in 1997. Yeah, and you have to work with it and create your ideas. Otherwise, new people come from outside and will disrupt your business. And the very interesting part is 1997, the internet was there, but there was no Google, there was no Facebook, no Amazon, no big OTAs. Yeah. And we will have the same situation right now. We have a lot of ideas. We will bring use cases on blockchain, but blockbusters, we will see it later. Yeah, the new ideas. Oh, when I have this information, this connectivity, I can do this, and we will see a lot of new blockbuster applications in the future.
That's also maybe coming back to your point, Luca, said, is it the right time to start? Yes, absolutely. We believe it's the right time for companies, travel companies, to start investing, to start building up the knowledge, to start experimenting and bringing the first use cases live, because the usage of blockchain also from a user perspective although quite low across the globe. I mean, there are like 100, 120 million active wallet users currently out there, but that figure will grow exponentially over the next years. And if we do not start now, we will definitely be overtaken by other industry player that comes from outside, as Ralph just mentioned. So we need to build out the knowledge, we need to build out the infrastructure and the use cases so that we are prepared as an industry for what's coming.
How's the reaction of partners you approach to say, okay, let's do something on the blockchain, and they probably have some already ideas about that. How do they react to that in general? What's the status now of the industry towards blockchain in general?
So most of them, when I make my talks to the industry and explain the concept, the idea, so around 95% said, oh, yes, we believe we have to do something in that. But from these 95%, only 20% has any clue about blockchain technology. Yeah. They know that they have to ramp up knowledge, the other ones, and some of them have already ideas in mind. But what we have to do, or in the meantime, what we did, so we have to bring examples, and you can do this, you can do that, and we have incoming agents on board, etc. And the education, starting from last year to this year, works. Yeah, so we see right now that the companies come back and say, "Oh, we have a good idea. Can we do it on blockchain, etc." And this is very fascinating. So one information for the companies from the travel industries, who we are running our pre-sale, private sale right now on Chain4Travel.com, and right now this is a possibility to buy some coins to be a validator. So we invite every travel company to join the pre-sale.
When is the pre-sale exactly?
The pre-sale is running right now. So we are on our website, Chain4Travel. You find the link, join the pre-sale. So this is you can apply for the pre-sale, and mid of September we will close the pre-sale and select the partners.
Okay, select the partner, meaning like if somebody buys the tokens to be a staker, right, to be a validator, then they have to go through a KYC process, and then they still have to be accepted. It's not automatic, right?
No, at the beginning, because we are not live, so the governance is not live, the mainnet is not live. At the beginning, Chain4Travel decides with the KYB process if it's a partner which can join it directly from the beginning. Yeah, so right now it's very easy to join. Yeah, later on it's a voting situation.
So at the beginning, like anybody who buys the tokens can be a validator by default. Of course, if they pass the KYC or KYB, or there's still a...
No, they have to pass the KYB process and have to be in the travel sector, travel tech sector.
So if they're not accepted, they get the money back, or how does it work?
Yes, because they don't pay the money. Yeah, so we do the process in
before
upfront.
paying. All right.
Yeah. So the pre-sale is not, it's only you apply for the pre-sale, so you don't bring the money in, because
it's a whitelist.
After the pre-sale, we bring all these wallet address into the Genesis block. Yeah, so this is the first action of the mainnet to send the money out. Yeah, the coins out. Right now they get a theft agreement. Yeah, a simple agreement for future tokens. And then they get the coins.
Okay.
So, but it's a very easy way to join the network. Yeah, join the pre-sale, and it's very easy to come in.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to add? Any of you?
You asked about the interest we are receiving or the reaction of the companies.
Yeah.
So I think I spoke roughly to 200, 250 companies worldwide in the last months. Only one told me, go away. I'm not interested in blockchain, honestly.
Okay.
So I think blockchain, thanks to what has happened and NFT booms has become popular. So it's definitely on the agendas of many, many companies. The issue I see is that a lot of companies don't have the skill internally. I mean, travel industry has been under pressure even before COVID because of margins. IT staff tend to be the most expensive organizations visit travel organizations. So there was a lot of underinvestment as well. Not so much upskilling of co-workers as well. And I think COVID did not help that. But what COVID helped definitely on the management side is to show where the processes we used today in the travel industry are not sufficient. Payment, be it processes with airlines and so on. So a lot of companies are now looking for new ways to become more efficient, more transparent as well. And also to control better the money flow, which is still based on outdated rules in many cases. So I think the receptions we are receiving, once again, coming back to your question, is the timing right? Yes, I think it is. And the only issue, or not issue, but maybe challenge a lot of companies have is how do I build it? Apart from what do I build it? Do I have the internal skills? But that's why we're also working with a lot of travel software companies. We have also embedded teams there where we actually help those companies to grow a team internally so they develop the skills which then can be used for other projects as well.
I see. Okay. So we are kind of at the awareness phase. They know that this stuff is not going away,
Yes.
but they still don't know how to build stuff, probably also what to build. And what is the understanding? Like, how much do they know about, when they've heard about NFTs, do they understand what they are? And they heard about tokens and DAOs, etc. But what would you say is the knowledge level right now in the travel industry in general?
From my perspective, I also talk to a lot of companies and potential partners. I think it's quite depending on the personality, how much, or the person, how much that person already went down. Some didn't at all. And you start from scratch, explaining what blockchain is, the main concepts. And on the other hand, there are people that are, into crypto, etc. So that's quite easy. You can start somewhere else. So it's quite depending on the person you talk to. And my experience is that, in companies, there are already people that dove into crypto and dove into to blockchain. So that helps, of course, in the process.
Okay. Yeah. So these people who know already, are they generally at the C-level or more like maybe the younger ones, or?
It's also depending. Yeah.
Depends.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So on the OTA side, when I talk to the C-level from OTAs, there is more knowledge than in classic tour operator business, and it depends a little bit if the C-level already work with cryptocurrency. So if they are using MetaMask, yeah. So right now, in Europe, we have 5%, 7% wallet user. So then you can imagine that, and young people, yeah. So that only 1% of these level have something or act already with crypto, yeah. But when I talk to people with knowledge, they directly have a lot of ideas. Yeah, so I talked to one CEO of a big OTA in Europe, and they said he was waiting for a solution like this because he has so many ideas. Yeah, so that you also create wallets behind Web 2.0 for the end users. Yeah, so that that you can give them coins, that you can incentivize them, that you bring a meta transaction via a QR code to the end user. So the end user only store the meta transaction in their wallet, in their Google wallet or Apple wallet. It's not a cryptic wallet. Yeah. So and he had a lot of ideas. Yeah. And now he's happy that we start this project, and he will bring the first use cases to the end user already this year. So we will see until end of the year some applications already live in the end user part. At the beginning, we have a lot of use cases in the B2B part, so in trading, pooling, payment and settlement, and informations and notifications. but we will have very fast also applications, or we see applications for the end users.
Can I ask you when did you start thinking about this? Because you launched it, I mean, officially a few months ago, I think. But when did you start thinking, okay, we need a new layer one for travel?
Yeah, start thinking about blockchain applications was already in 2018, 17. Then we developed something, and but we are focused on our legacy system, and the real click was beginning of last year, mid of last year, that we said, no, we need a layer one, which will be controlled by the industry. Yeah, and
Okay.
and we have the knowledge. Our tech guys are familiar with blockchain projects. Since 2016. Yeah, so they did a lot of private things, and are familiar with Solidity, and also with Go on mainnets. So it was not a big thing for us to set up the team to develop the application. Yeah, so right now we have a team of 23 people around the world. We have a development team in Taiwan. We have development in Greece, in Germany, in Switzerland, in New York, and in South America. So we can develop around the clock, and this is very important that we have the speed and yeah.
So you basically you're developing you're maintaining and developing the layer one, which is an Avalanche fork, right? And that's taking care of validators, etc. So basically, the layer one work it's what you do, but you also help or even develop applications on top of it, right? So a company comes to you and they say, we like to do that, but we don't have the capabilities. Will you help them? Will you work for them? Will you charge them for that? How does it work on the application layer? What's the plan here?
There we have partners as well. Yeah, so these are not in the 23 people. So we have a partner in Germany, it's IT Square. We have a partner in Benelux, in Netherlands, it's NetMatch. We have a partner in Colombia, Netactica. So these are partners which develop applications on top of the Chain4 companies.
Oh, so somebody comes to you and you can send them to one of your partners.
So, but our team are right now involved in workshops, to create ideas how we can do it, and when this is finished, we make a handover to IT partners. Yeah.
Okay, so you're also producing ideas. Sorry, Pablo.
That we ourselves build software. We are nobody competitors in that area. We provide the basic infrastructure. We provide two components. One is the wallet and the block explorer. For all the other things, be it product or technical workshop, we just help them along and then point it to our network. And that's also one of the reasons why many people join our network, because of the network effect, because they know that if they get stuck somewhere or they need help or need a partner for something, we can point them into the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And one important thing, Chain4Travel will never develop a D app. So
a what? I'm sorry.
Chain4Travel will never develop a D app on top of the network.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
Because
so you're not competing.
No competing. It's free for everyone, or it's open for everyone, and the competition will come from the application side. Yeah.
I understand.
We are even thinking of introducing a D-app store once we have a critical mass of D-apps, so that actually the whole network has visibility, what kind of D-apps are there, and the companies can get into relationship, or interested parties can get into relationship by themselves. Okay,
just to clarify to some listeners, D-apps are basically apps on a decentralized blockchain. So apps, stuff, software people can actually use, while the blockchain is the base layer. Okay, we unfortunately ran out of time, so it was really interesting. I wrote down a few questions, but there's no time for that. So I'm going to ask you, would you like to jump on another call where we are more kind of adversarial on this, like when I'm going to ask you things, and I just didn't talk. Last time I was speaking with myself. This time you talk. I think we can do another call where we actually, fight over a bit these concepts in a good way, of course, in an adversarial way. And I think that's actually useful for that. And let's talk about this after the call. And do you want to add anything before we finish?
No, not for me. Thank you very much
Great.
for the opportunity.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you for the conversation. Very
So
interesting.
I hope we talk before your event in Palma de Mallorca on the 13th of September. And if we don't talk, good luck with the event. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Luca.
Thank you.
Looking forward to continue the
Luca.
conversation with you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, this is the end of today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. For more insights on Web3, follow me on Twitter @tripluca, TRIPLUCA, and see you next time.